Hello and welcome to an Office Hours capsule. That's right, capsule. These are small videos that I pull out of my weekly live stream, The Office Hours, which you can follow on Thursdays at 9 p.m. Eastern at youtube.com/c/TheAstroPub live, or come join us live at twitch.tv/TheAstroPub. These little sections are little sections that I record for y'all on YouTube space to kind of show you what we do here live. As you can see, the chat's there. And so if you want to join us live on Thursdays, come join us there. But for now, let's take a look at some of the changes for the roadmap update as of June 21st, 2022. Come on. All right. So, notable changes for June 22nd, 2022. Well, first off, let's read this, of course. Jake puts a lot of work into this, so it's important to read this. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Every 2 weeks, we accompany the roadmap update with a brief explanatory note to give you an insight into the decision-making that led to any changes. This is part of an effort to make our communications more transparent, more specific, and more insightful for all of you who help make Star Citizen and Squadron 42 possible. With that said, let's go ahead and dive into this week's Roadmap Roundup, CIG Community Team. Notable changes for June 22nd, 2022. Release view. The following cards have been added to the release view as well as marked as committed. Colonialism, Outposts, Derelict. The implementation of derelict outpost locations throughout Stanton with a colonialism theme. These locations will launch with missions, loot, and hostile AI encounters. This feature has been added to Alpha 317 column and is targeted for delivery in Q2 in 317.2. AI dropships and reinforcements. Enabling AI ships to land and deliver reinforcements on non-structured ground areas, such as planetary terrain, where the predefined landing area and assistance from air traffic control is not available. This feature has been added to the Alpha 317 column and is targeted delivery in Q2 in 317.2. Those are big deals because those are both release views. We've seen a little bit about this in the previous monthly reports. But for those of you who don't know, the colonialism outposts were ones that were supposed to be saved for Pyro. So they're adding derelict versions of this, which is effectively ruins, which is really cool, to 317.2. And they're adding dropships and reinforcements. This means that AI can then call in reinforcements. They'll come down in dropships, hop out of their seats, and then disembark from the dropships. Now, these have been both leaked in the past as part of the Evocati tests. But now this is confirmed that they've added it to this. Doesn't mean it's coming in necessarily, but this is a big one because they're using the nav mesh right away. They're just jumping right into it and are giving us content which is supposed to be dedicated to Pyro, which is both good and bad news. It means that they're willing to test some of this stuff out, but it also means that may not expect Pyro to come out this year. We'll see. Anything could be happening and anything could be possible, but that's what it is. But that's the release view. That's usually stuff that they're more confirmed and more committed to getting out there. Let's look at the progress tracker updates. The following deliverable has been added to the progress tracker. Asteroid facilities. Adding new asteroid facilities to the persistent universe. Handcrafted traversable areas offering different gameplay opportunities, both in the interior and exterior of asteroids. This deliverable has been added to the EU Sandbox team's schedule. This is cool because what this tells me, they say handcrafted, but I don't think we're going to see this as handcrafted as, say, Grimhex. I think these are going to be handcrafted in the same way that stations are handcrafted. Those of you who don't know, stations are all procedural. So you have a procedurally generated station, which they go in and then handcraft things around and make things up. But they're kind of like Lego blocks. They take similar things and put them together. They do the same thing with the bunkers. You'll notice that most of the bunkers are built the same way, but just different layouts of that same general design. And we also know that they're working on updating that to add more variations and flares for the bunkers. But it works the same way. This means we're going to see possibly asteroid facilities as bunkers, maybe asteroid facilities as stations, which would be cool for places like Nyx, which have big asteroid belts, which would be nice points of interest. This definitely moves towards points of interest for things like Pyro and Nyx, but also for points of interest for places like the Aran Halo Belt, which is in Stanton. So this is all pretty cool stuff. Of course, progress tracker just means that they're going to look at it and start working on it. It's not committed for anything. Now, here's where we get to the downer part of the video. Due to a shift in priority for vehicle concept art team, both to await specific systems coming online, as well as additional resources needed on other upcoming vehicles, the following deliverables have been temporarily removed from the progress tracker until additional resources are allocated. The RSI Orion, the MISC Hull B, the MISC Hull D, the MISC Hull E, and Crusader Genesis Starliner. Pour one out. Pouring out for the homies. Sad, but expected. The Hull B and D and E don't make a lot of sense to be made until the Hull C is finished, and we don't even know when the Hull C is coming out. The Orion and the Starliner both are requiring such massive numbers of NPCs or players that, yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense. So I'm not terribly ruined about this, but it definitely is it's a bummer to see that. But to cheer your spirits up a little bit, here's a little bit of something else. Tree 0311, who you should catch on the Pathfinders podcast. He's been on the Lore Citizen podcast in the past. He'll also be on a future Captain's Table as well. But he brought this to my attention as well, and he'll probably break it down in the Pathfinders as well. Let me show you all this. So here's some cool things that they don't tell you about. Little secrets, little insider knowledge for you. RSI Apollo got moved up. Its start date is July. It's still going to take 35 weeks, so that's probably doesn't mean that we're going to see the RSI Apollo this year. That's still probably, 35 weeks? Like 32 weeks in a year, I believe. So it still looks like next year, but it got moved up from where it used to be. So, and it's a U.S. vehicle team. So, there we go. The Apollo has been moved up. That's probably part of that reprioritization. Apollo makes a lot more sense in the current game of Star Citizen than the Hull E does, or the Orion. Which, I know, sad for people who want those things, but Apollo. Then here is Bounty Hunter V2. So, I made this post where I'm like, there's no way the Bounty Hunter V2 is going to come in. And I got chastised by a lot of people, including Jake, who reminded me that just because it's on the roadmap or on the progress tracker and it has, say, a ton of time, doesn't mean it's done. In this case, most of the major work finishes sometime in November, and the USPU team continues on. If you look at other aspects of the progress tracker, you see similar stuff being worked on. Like the inventory system is still being worked on according to the progress tracker, but it's done. It's been out for a year almost. So, well, not a year, I guess 6 months now. So you can see that this looks like it's looking to wrap up towards the end of this year, which is good. And then here is the big stuff. This is the stuff that's the unsung heroes of Star Citizen, the SST team. The NPC tracker service tracks and records the actions of players and NPCs. In turn, bounty hunting gameplay will use this service to expose the actions taken by outlaws so that they can be tracked by bounty hunters. This finishes in Q1 2022. It was already finished, according to this, the sprint was already finished, which kind of adds a little bit more influence to this, where you can see here, they're wrapping up some more work here towards the end of the year. And of course, the virtual AI service, a service that drives the logic of virtual AI, the go-between subsumption AI and quanta AI. This is a big one too, because subsumption AI is what we see in-game, and quanta AI is what we're seeing with the quantum system. The virtual AI is the go-between. They've showed that off in Last CitizenCon, I believe. So the fact that the this is being worked on and its current sprint ends in August is a big deal. It means that they're chugging right along towards building that more complete experience with quantum that I would kind of bracket as the quantum experience, the full dynamic economy and dynamic game of Star Citizen, which falls in line with a lot of the other stuff they've been working on as well. So that's what we got for this Roadmap Roundup. Some sad news if you're a Hull fan or an Orion fan or a Starliner fan. I'm sorry, Jared, I'm sure it breaks your heart. But good news if you're an FPS fan, if you're looking forward to its bounty hunting, and you're looking forward to more dynamic AI interaction. So all of those things seem to be trucking along as well. Hopefully you enjoyed this. If you enjoyed this little snippet, please come join us live on Thursdays. Make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Brand new channel, same content, brand new channel. As I've been saying before, we kind of split the channel off. So the old channel is now the Astro Historian. So you can find all my lore content there, and this new channel, TheAstroPub, just like my last one, or youtube.com/c/TheAstroPub live, is where you can find all this content in the near future. Love to see you come by live, and of course, join these wonderful folks who've been supporting me this entire time. And like I say every time, hope to see you someday in the black.